Hello everybody and welcome to Parks Bros, it's Drew here, and today we're going to be heading down to Chula Vista, California for Sesame Place San Diego and ranking every single one of their rides and slides based on your vote. So if you haven't seen one of the videos in this series just yet, make sure to go check out the rest of them, as we've got tons from parks like Cedar Point, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, SeaWorld San Diego, SeaWorld Orlando, and plenty more with more on their way. But realistically, I put out a Google form to ask all of you to rate every single ride you've experienced at that given park, with a rating of 10 out of 10 being the best possible and 1 out of 10 being really not good. And we did that a couple months ago with Sesame Place San Diego. Now, because this park is a combo water and dry park, we're actually going to be splitting this ranking into two sections, with the slides being first and the rides being second. But at the end of the video, I'll make sure to intersperse the two rankings together so you can see overall rankings throughout all 18 attractions at this park. So without further ado, let's get properly acclimated to summer, starting out with the slides. At number 10, we'll be finding Elmo's Silly Sand Slides, which offer a pretty unique, small experience for the littlest ones in your party. And something really great about this is that there's 6 separate slides here, and usually it won't have a wait whatsoever. At number 9 is the Count's Splash Castle, which is one of the largest attractions in the entire park, featuring plenty of different water features as well as a lot of ramps, stairs, and slides to go up and down all day long. This is another super great experience, especially if you don't want to wait in a line. At number 8, Big Bird's Beach is another one of those rides you will not have to wait in a line to experience, as this pretty massive wave pool can offer some extreme thrills the further out into the water you go, or just be a nice way to cool off in between tanning sessions. At number 7 is another one of Big Bird's rides, and that's Big Bird's Rambling River, the park's lazy river attraction. This takes you on quite the fun journey around the Count's Splash Castle as well as Elmo's Silly Sand Slides, and is especially great if you want to hang out in the water while not having to fend for your life against the crazy waves of the big pool. Next up is the first tube slides on our list. At number 6, Ernie's Twisty Turny Tunnels. This slide can get you up to some pretty quick speeds while hanging out on top of a pool floaty before landing in the pool at the end. After that is number 5. Funnily enough, it's Bert's Topsy-Turvy Tunnels, and this one's really special because you can actually get onto a tube that has space for 2 people. It's no longer a solo raft, which I think definitely adds to the experience, as it is pretty similar to Ernie's slides that were just mentioned, with that main difference being a 2-seat tube. At number 4 is one of the craziest mat racer slides in the entire country. This is Honker Dinger Dash. There are 6 separate racing mat slides that first take you down some pretty steep drops and some pretty tight turns before throwing you over the edge and having a really amazing and thrilling experience down to the finish line. Finally, in our top 3 for the slide section of this list, we bring ourselves to Oscar's Rotten Rafts. Well, if you didn't want to only have one person joining your tube, how about a handful? You can bring the whole family on this attraction, and it is very high up in the air, but at least a little bit more slow moving than some of the other attractions we've experienced thus far. This one is really fun and can get you pretty wet, just like the rest of the slides and other water rides on this list. But I will say, for as intimidating as it does look off-ride, it doesn't feel too crazy on-ride. At number 2, we head to another group slide. This is Cookie's Monster Mixer. This might be the most intimidating water slide still left in the park from the Aquatica days. This has a 6-story drop that feeds into a funnel that just keeps pulling you back and forth. This ride is very intimidating in person, and especially when you're on ride, as it starts in this dark tunnel before encountering that fairly steep drop into the funnel section. Once you get into the funnel, it's a breeze, but that build up to that drop is pretty scary, so be warned. At number 1, which was actually a personal favorite of mine, is Snuffies Spaghetti Slides. This set of 6 different body slides is really fun, and with all 6 of them being different, it makes tons of sense to go back up and experience all 6 of them. This slide complex does not need tubes to sit on, so it's just you, the water, and the path before making that splashdown at the end. Alright, since we've gotten all the slides out of the way, it's time to move on to the 8 different rides, experiences, and attractions that'll keep you dry during the non-summer times, or heck, even during summer. So let's start at number 8, which is Rosita's Harmony Hills. This really fun play area has tons of different musical instruments as well as musical theming, and even a guitar in the ground, which I think was really cool. It's fairly well shaded and kind of in a quieter place throughout the park. And while it's not a ride in the sense of some of the others we'll talk about on this list, it still offers something really unique and fun, especially if you want to get away from those crowds. At number 7 is Elmo's Rockin' Rockets. This ride can give you a pretty amazing look from a little bit higher up in the air as you're controlling your own Elmo rocket up and down as you swirl around him in outer space. This is one of your classic Dumbo style rides, and it's a much beloved classic at any park. Next up is Ruba Dub Sub, one of the coolest flat rides around, with theming alluding to, of course, Rubber Ducky, as your submarine voyage spins you up and down and up and down, giving you a little bit of that weightless feeling in your stomach. At number 5, I thought this was super interesting. We have Cookie Climb, which is an attraction where you're going up and down a spinning tower as you physically pull your chair up to the top. This is kind of a cool observation deck, if you will, but it's under your own power. So if you want a fun workout at the park outside of just swimming around and walking throughout the park, why not take this for a spin? At number 4 is the first attraction you'll end up walking towards when you enter the park, and that's the Sunny Day Carousel, featuring tons of Sesame Street and tons of other Muppet-style creatures from Sesame Street, of course playing that iconic theme tune. It is one of the best ways to enter into a park, especially next to Mr. Hooper's Gifts, and some places to meet some of your favorite Sesame Street friends. Next up is Sesame Street Soar and Spin. This ride takes you up in a hot air balloon where you can actually spin yourself around, getting the highest view of the park outside of going up onto the slides like Cookie's Monster Mixer or Oscar's. This is a really fun ride just to be able to look out over the park, but also adding in that optional spinning makes it that much more exciting too. At number 2 is the classic swing ride Abby's Fairy Flight off to the left-hand side of the park. This is right next to Ruba Dub Sub, and it gives a really fun experience as you float in the air like Abby Cadabby. This is one of the faster and taller rides in the park, believe it or not, but it gives a super classic, reliable, and fun experience. Now we've made it to number 1, and this will actually be number 1 for only the ride section. As you kind of expected, at least some of the coaster enthusiasts that are watching this video, it is the sole roller coaster at the park, and that's Super Grover's Boxcar Derby. This fun roller coaster has a couple of quick hills, a couple of quick moments of lateral forces pushing you side to side, and even a photo moment at the end. This is a super fun ride for all ages, and I can only assume that this will be the first roller coaster that a lot of people will end up experiencing, which is super exciting. And what better way to do it than with everyone's favorite blue superhero? So now that both the individual lists are done, let's go ahead and compare the individual scores and put them all together. This was kind of shocking to me, seeing that Rosita's Harmony Hills was all the way at the very bottom, but it's still a really fun thing to do, don't get me wrong. But then, shooting all the way up to the top, you have Cookie's Monster Mixer and Snuffies Slides actually taking the number 1 spot, with Oscars and Grover tying exactly with a score of 7 each. Now, since we've gotten your opinions in voting form already, I'm curious to see what you think down in the comments if you didn't end up seeing the poll before. So, if you haven't, make sure to go check out the other links I have in the description to vote for other parks going forward. We've got a lot of those polls ready to go, and the moment we get enough votes, those videos are going out. But with that all said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to see more of these park ranking videos, all from your thoughts and ratings. So stay tuned for so many more videos like this and so much more. But of course, until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.